Last week, Dana White filmed an Instagram video from his private jet, and that jet was leaving Washington, D.C. He said he just met with the president and the rest of the team to set up the White House fight card, and this seems to be 100% official and is heading down that line. So the question becomes, what will a White House fight card look like, and what do we want it to be? My name is Angelo. This is Josh Thompson. Welcome to another Bad Takes. 15 years ago, when I'm watching this sport and there was one pay-per-view a month, you barely got any fights year round. We didn't really have the Ultimate Fighter yet. I actually might need to go back farther than 15 years for all of that. But in the heyday of the early stages of UFC, the idea that it would be this broadly accepted sport was kind of wild. The idea that not only would it be broadly accepted, but the president of the United States would say, let's celebrate America's birthday with one of these events on the White House lawn is something insane. And even when it was announced a couple of months ago, I personally was like, there's no way this is happening. There's just no way this is happening. But it definitely is happening. They're heading down that path. I am curious what you think this is. Before we talk about what a perfect card looks like, do you think this is a full-blown 12-fight card with fans, or do you think this is sort of a 5-fight spectacle really for TV and maybe 20 people in person?
No, I think they're going to have anywhere between, say, 8 to 10 fights. So it'll be 5 on the prelims, 5 on the main card. It'll be small. It'll be something where people can trickle in, and there'll be fights happening in the background. People are taking pictures at the White House. Like that's kind of, I think, going to be the whole thing. Who was it that did it? I can't remember who it was. Maybe it was the early World Series of Fighting. When they first came in, they were like, look, we're going to do the fights at the joint. The fights, we're going to be in the background. Like the fights are not the priority. We're going to have the bar set up. People can be sitting at the bar talking, having a great time. And off in the background, there's going to be fights. Let's go ahead and walk down and let's watch the fights, come back up, get a drink. Like they want it to be more of a social hour. Very much how when I fought at the Playboy Mansion, I fought there twice. But when I fought there.
Wow. How was Epstein's plane?
The Playboy Mansion.
I'm just fucking I'm just connecting dots. I'm just connecting dots now. We're there to connect.
Wow, you just went all on. Jeez, calm down. You just threw me out.
Yeah. Oh, all the memories. Yeah, the memories are coming back. I get it.
Playboy Mansion. Yes. Yeah. Oh yes. Oh, I got the stories from that place. That place is awesome, man. It was great. Historic. But shit. Yeah. Anyway, so the White House card. You got me all thrown off. I really believe that it's going to be one of those things where it's 8 fights. I could see 10, but I don't even know if they'll go that far. They'll say like, let's put together this card. Only 5 of them or 4 of them will probably be on CBS. I don't think they'll have a full card of 3 hours on or 3.5 hours, whatever it is, on CBS. They're going to try to minimize that to make it like probably just like a 2.5 to 3 hour long fight card. So I think you go 5 fights on the main card and you go probably 3 or 4 on the prelims to kind of get people to trickle in, and they get to watch, take pictures in the background, all that stuff.
Who's people trickling in? Regular fans like me? I can go buy a ticket, you think? Or do you think this is basically a private event?
This is a private event.
Yeah, so okay, got it.
But did you not hear what Dana said when he talked?
He said we will have an audience, but he didn't clarify.
No. He also announced that he goes, look, what they're going to do is move International Fight Week there. So the International Fight Week will be in DC. Oh. And so right outside of the White House, there's a huge grassy, like almost like a grassy knoll area, whatever it is. They're going to bring monitors and screens and have it sit out there. They'll have vendors out there, whatever it is. They're going to make it so basically you can seat out there like another 30 to 50 to 80,000 people. And they can watch on the big screens out there right in front of the White House. Everyone's going to have that moment to be part of it during the week. I don't know exactly, obviously, how it's all going to pan out, but they're going to have fans outside of it too, with big monitors and screens being able to watch the fights as they're happening on the White House lawn. So you have the VIPs that will be inside the White House, obviously in there. And then you'll have all the lower tier people on the outside. That's the best
regular folks.
Yeah, regular.
I go to International Fight Week every week. It's always great.
Every week you go?
Every year. I don't know if I would go to that. That seems dangerous. That seems dangerous.
You're from Connecticut. Are you saying what I think you're saying?
I'm saying a wild, politically motivated situation with 30,000 people standing in a crowd outside. Maybe not. maybe not.
I mean, the National Guard just got out of there, and
Yeah.
there wasn't a murder in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
So,
I guess we'll see when it gets closer
hey
what
man,
that
clean
looks
it up.
like. Yeah, I guess we'll see what it looks like when we get closer, but it will be regardless of how it's executed, whether it's 5 fights, 12 fights, whether it's the fights are the priority or if it's just sort of a background thing like you said, it is wildly exciting. What do you want this card to be? Like matchup wise, what does an ideal fight card look like for you
Okay, so
at the White House?
look, and this is all just fantasy land. Okay, we're just speculating right now on how we could possibly do this. Okay, there's a lot of talk that obviously it should be John Jones versus Aspinall, given that it's the 4th of July week. Da 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 da. Like you're talking about, American Independence Day. All of these things should be the Brit versus the American. John Jones versus Tom Aspinall should be the main event. Dana's come out publicly several times and said, "Look, I just can't trust John to get it there. I can't trust him to do everything I need him to do to get to the White House card. Just can't do it." So that being said, I'm gonna still probably put John on this card, but I can't make him the main event. So I'm just in my mind, ideal world, the most ideal, like in terms of what can I do for the biggest bang? And Dana said, I want this to be the greatest 5 fights I've ever seen in our organization. I'm gonna take Amanda Nunes versus Kayla Harrison. I'm going to make them wait until that card, and I'm going to have them as the main event. You have a 2-time Olympic gold medalist fighting a Brazilian, and you have her fighting who is considered to be the greatest female fighter of all time in Amanda Nunes. No better person to have fight. I would say that. I would put Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. And then I would go right after that. I would go Conor McGregor. Now, this is where I know you're going to have a hiccup. I think you're going to have a hiccup. You don't want Michael Chandler. They've already put all the money into Michael Chandler.
I have no problem with Michael Chandler.
Oh, you don't have a problem with Michael Chandler?
No.
Okay.
No.
Everyone I've told this to, they're like, no, you can't have, he hasn't won a fight and this and that.
Who gives a shit? Neither is Conor McGregor.
Exactly. So let's get Conor on there. You know that Chandler's going to stand. Look, everyone knows I fucking hate Chandler, but this is a fight that I think the two of them, they're going to stand and they're going to trade. Chandler's going to put him in a position to try to knock him out, and Conor's going to try to keep this thing on the feet. Chandler's wrestling is not what it used to be when he was 7 years ago.
He doesn't even use it.
And even when he does, it's fucking trash now. So I think Conor's lackluster or horrible takedown defense will be enough to stop Chandler. And if it isn't one time,
he defended one of Khabib's takedowns. So
the very first one. Then after that, downhill. So Conor and Chandler, you can put somebody else in there if it's not Chandler. I don't give a shit, but give him.
No, I think that's the only matchup for Conor. Who else are you going to give him?
You think so?
Who Conor hasn't won a fight in 38 years.
Comes back for number 4. I'll take it.
I've seen it twice and we've seen it 3 times. The only other person could maybe be Patty, but even then, Patty's actually doing something with his career. Conor's done. First of all, Conor's never fighting again. Living in this fantasy land. I'd watch that. I mean, I'd watch that. This is a fantasy land though, because Conor's done.
Yeah. What does that mean? Like Justin's getting a little bit older. What if the UFC is saying, "Hey, we're not going to let you fight for the title, but we're going to let you fight Conor McGregor on the White House card,
the America title"? Do you think they make up fake belts for this?
No,
like they did the BMF belt.
No, I don't think.
So. Yeah, I would watch. I think Gagey or Chandler are the only two because everybody else has like real wins and a career to look forward to. Conor McGregor's done.
He's got real wins. What the fuck are you talking about?
No, I'm saying. Oh, I meant. Well, but Gagey's got one win. He beat Fiziev. And before that, he beat Fiziev. Before that, he lost. Like the fact that they're talking about him fighting for the belt's kind of crazy.
It's because he's older. He's done everything he's possible.
And he's exciting. He's very, very exciting. So no better way. I mean, I understand there's a difference between money and legacy. If you're Justin Gagey, the money is a Conor McGregor fight. Obviously. I don't think he's fighting. I think Conor McGregor's done. I've been saying that for 2 years. I think he's done. He just pulled out of the presidential race. He announced he was running for president of Ireland. He was immediately the front runner. Immediately. Like he actually could have been elected president of Ireland, and then he just pulled out.
Mm-hmm.
I have to assume he pulled out maybe for this, doubt it, because there's even more skeletons in that ridiculous closet of him that are about to pop out. I have to assume that's why he pulled out. Why else? He was like, I talked to my family. You don't give a shit about your family. All the stuff you put these people through, you don't care about that. There's got to be there's either skeletons in that closet or there is a monster fight about to be announced because he did lose He lost a ton of money with the Black Forge or Pigeon. What's the Forge?
Yeah, Forge beer, like his
The beer,
stout,
whatever the beer
Forge
is.
stout.
He lost. They kicked him out. He sold already the whiskey company, but he was the ambassador. So he either pulled out from being running for president because there are more skeletons in this closet, which would guarantee he's not fighting again, or there actually is a monster fight on the horizon with a big payday waiting for him. And he's just chasing that 100 million instead of running for office.
Big possibility. But I mean, I look at Conor versus Justin Gaethje or Conor versus Chandler. I think those are two viable options. But do you make him the main event or the co-main event? He's not a champion. He hasn't been a champion in a long time.
Depends what this card is supposed to be. I think you make, if you're going to do the Kayla Harrison fight, you make her the main event. It's for a belt. The belt should always be the main event. It's for the belt. She's an actual American, the only American champion, an accomplished American who has represented this country on an international stage, the most accomplished American judoka of all time. I think you make her the main event.
Yep.
And then the co-main can be, I mean, if the problem is they do the fight order has to be, if there's two belts on the line, the heavier weight class is the higher up on the card. She's only 135 pounds.
It doesn't have to be. They just choose to do it that way. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Look, but that's the thing. Conor McGregor is obviously the bigger draw. But then Kayla Harrison being the female fight, then you have John Jones versus Tom Aspinall would be my ideal fight. But
I would do
third
that
on the card.
No, that would be if that could happen. That would be my main event.
Would be your main event. Tom Aspinall.
The problem is
it's not going to happen.
If you could do it. If you could do it, that would be my main event.
You can do it, but literally Dana's like, I'm not taking the chance with John Jones. So you put him in the middle, and if it falls off, it falls off. And then like, oh, you haven't lost anything. People haven't lost their way, whatever it is. They're not fully invested into John and Tom Aspinall being the main event. We've been saying this for a long time. That is the ideal fight to have as the main event, 100%. But John's burned so many bridges with Dana right now.
Yeah,
it's not even an option.
The other problem with John Jones, Tom, is so as a fight fan, John versus Tom's the biggest fight. Mm-hmm. Understanding what this card is, the White House card representing America, you can't have a woman beater with a rap sheet like that as your main event. When you have Kayla Harrison, who has only ever done the right thing, raising her sister's kids, representing America on an international stage, carries herself with class, it has to be Kayla Harrison in the main event. It has to be. Mm-hmm. It's A, a title fight, B, a woman, C, the only American champion in the UFC since John Jones relinquished his belt, and D, I don't have a D. She's got to be.
we know, we've heard.
I've had sex at least twice.
Oh yeah, at least twice. Got two kids. Yeah,
there's two kids to prove it. So I think it has to be Kayla. It has to be. One of them looks like me. Unfortunately for her, it has to be. No, she's very pretty. It has to be Kayla Harrison in the main event. Has to be.
Okay, so
on the America fight card, it has to be.
It has to be Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes. Conor McGregor versus. Oh, I actually left out Max Holloway. Max Holloway and Conor would be a great fight for the BMF title.
Oh, and that's a rematch.
That's a rematch, and that's a great fight. And Max is the BMF. So you could say BMF title.
Sure. Yeah.
I'd say BMF title.
Good point.
And then you got John Jones versus Tom Aspinall as the middle fight. That would obviously, maybe, unless he loses to Cyril Gane, then that would. Look, you never know.
I got you.
Something could happen. But you have John Jones versus Aspinall, but that's in the middle of the card only because they're not trusting John to get them there. And like you said, all the other shit that goes along with John Jones. Lastly, or not lastly, but the second fight on the card coming up, I would have Ilia Topuria versus Islam. The reason why I'm putting them there is because Islam is my boy. That's one. But two is this card to me is I understand what it's about, but then my next fight will also dictate this as well, or to back this up, is that now you have people from all different ethnicities, all different religions.
And that is America.
And that's America. And so that's where I'm going with this. I know these are the biggest names. I get it. I understand that. I got Islam versus Ilia Topuria, and I got Pantoja versus Horiguchi.
Yeah, I'm good with. I think the main event needs to be an American. That part I'll stick with. But America is a melting pot. My family's not from here. I'm the first born in America in my family. My parents weren't born here. My brothers, obviously, they're younger than me. I'm the first one in my family born here. So this is a melting pot.
So you're
And
an
that
anchor baby. Got it.
back then it was easy to come legally.
Yeah.
The idea that it has to be only Americans, I disagree with that. I do think the main event should be an American, and we only have one American champion, and she's classy. So I think it's got to be that. But I'm fine with a hodgepodge mishmash. You can do themes of all the wars America has fought. Do American versus a Russian. Do an American versus what? Korean,
Japanese.
an American for who else? Yeah, versus Japanese. Like we can run it that way and just run through all the wars. But I do think a melting pot of different, ethnicities and things like that. I think outside of the main event having to be an American defending or fighting for a belt, I think you can do whatever you want with the rest of the card as long as they're big fights.
No, I would agree with you. Now there is an opportunity. Maybe Sean Brady gets a big win here coming up, and then he's able to fight for the title, at 170 against whoever else. But I mean, honestly, if I'm putting together, like I said, this is all fantasy land. This is all in an ideal world, but you've got different people from different countries, from different ethnicities, different religions, all involved in this card. So that's why when I started slapping this thing together, I said, okay, well, look, I got to Pantoja, and I'm like, okay, well, who have we not seen in a while? Who can we put in there against him? Pantoja is a dog. To open up the card, he always fights. Extremely exciting. Him versus Horiguchi, representing the Japanese, like representing the nation of Japan. Like this is a perfect opportunity to get them all mixed in and have everybody, like you said, America is a melting pot. This is what this fight card should represent, especially in this time, in this day, in this age, and everything that happened last week. This is a perfect opportunity. So I like this.
And the only other two people that haven't been mentioned, the only other two people who are very pro-America and this specific presidency are Kobe Covington and Hanato Moicano. You throw them on there too as like a thanks for the support, guys, or they're just not big enough for a card this big?
No, I don't. I mean, unless if you're cool being on the prelims of the prelims, but let's just remember, I just listed off 5. I've listed off 5 title fights. That's a long time.
You can't do 5 title fights though, because then you screw up. That's what happened with UFC 300. Every fight card before and after it for a few months were screwed up because you used all the good fights on one card. So you do have to be careful stacking one card with multiple title fights, because then you literally just screw up your timelines.
Well, not only that, but look, let's be honest. Look, once you put Conor on there and you have Kayla Harrison on there as the main event, Conor on there,
leave it at that.
You don't need the rest.
Yeah.
You don't need the rest. Like you're really just spending money to spend money. You're never going to get that money back. Like the UFC, and look, I know they're not hemorrhaging money at all. Like they're doing just fine. We all
$7.7 billion.
Yeah, and that's just their TV rights. That's not even their sponsors and their endorsement and all the other shit.
Merchandise,
yeah. So that being said, like you can get rid of Tom, you can get rid of Ilya, you can get rid of Pantoja, all of them, because once Conor's on there, all those other guys that are on there, they're just costing you money, and they're not actually creating more people to buy. Maybe 1 or 2, but not as much. So I mean, you'll get a little bit of bump from each one of those fights, but it's not going to be what you think it is, because most of them are already going to be watching, especially because it's free on CBS.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I was a big critic, meaning like I just did, or skeptic. I didn't think this was going to happen. There's still a part of me that thinks it won't happen, but the fact that Dana's like, I just flew from there, like for it to be continued to be talked about and actual action taking, like it definitely seems to be moving forward. I have no idea the logistics, where you put the cage, how you keep it safe. Like, I don't know the logistics of all of that, but they'll figure it out. This is what A, the UFC does, and B, this is what the White House does, is keep people safe involved in the administration. So it'll be an interesting fight card. It'll be an unbelievable just event. Even if the fights themselves aren't great, just the concept of this, as a fight fan forever, the concept of this is wild. Let us know who you think should be on the White House fight card, if you actually think it's going to happen at all, and what that should look like for you. My name is Angelo. This is Josh Thompson. That was another Bad Takes.